Time for your midday fix of facts and spicy sides.
From breaking headlines to backroom whispers.
All served hot and fresh. Hello there, I'm Monique Tuzon.
I'm Ferdi Salvador. Glad to have you with us.
And I'm Mai Rodriguez. This is the Daily Dish.
Okay, what's happening, ladies?
So, did you see Amy Marcos again? She's doing a fashion statement.
Her Ghostbuster.
Another
Her
fashion
Ghostbuster
statement.
thing.
Please
Her
show-
shirt. Oh, there, we're showing
There it
it.
There she is. Ghost
Project.
That's so funny.
But instead of a ghost, it's a
It's a
pig.
lechon. It's a fat lechon.
You
Well,
know,
it's very timely also because the Senate is resuming its investigation into the flood control scandal
right,
today.
but you have to give it to Senator Marcos. She is always
I
on.
love her
She's
stuff.
always on point. And yes, I'm plugging Pinky's show. Always
I
on point with her
remember
fashion.
there was a time she also showed off her croc bag.
What's the crocodile in
The
Tagalog
crocodile
again?
bag.
Baya.
By Buwaya. You're confusing.
I am not
I was-
about to help them out because
I was thinking
you're
of
about
the
to say bayawak. No, that's
Bayawak,
different.
yeah, the one from Palawan.
Monitor lizard
Okay,
yon.
they look the same, close enough.
Yeah.
As I got the first letter correctly.
I wonder what Senator Amy is going to be wearing the next couple of days. But she
Let's
had a
see.
special visitor yesterday.
Oh, who was her special visitor?
The vice president went to go see her. So that's interesting. I want to know
What they were
what
talking about.
they spoke about exactly.
Yeah.
But she didn't stay on for media questions because apparently her flight
She
was
has to
boarding
catch a
already.
flight.
Correct.
Yeah, but we're hoping to get more inside information on that meeting.
And you
Also,
went on a
she went on a food feast?
on a foodie
Well,
binge.
yes. I went to a fabulous tasting event, but it's more than that. It's actually the launch of Terra Madre. It's the first ever regional edition outside of Turin, Italy, and it's going to showcase Bacolod City and Negros Occidental as the hub of slow food.
And we're basically gonna watch my eat.
I
Ricardo.
love it. Now I
I'm
want to eat
excited.
kansi.
Yeah,
I love kansi.
All
Kansi
these,
is the best. And we're going to have
Sizzling
that this
kansi is
afternoon.
so good. Oh, you're gonna order?
all these
Maybe we'll
amazing
order.
foods.
I'm so hungry.
Yeah, you're
We're
gonna
always
see
hungry.
that later
I'm
on
excited
the show.
to see you doing your food crawl. Yeah. And of course, straight from the island of Siargao, Ricardo Miranda de
Yes.
Souza of Roots will be here to talk to us about Siargao and what's going on there. We're excited to know if the Siargao curse is real or not.
I know, let's see. Let's
They're
even find
also
out what the curse.
slowly launching a slow food movement in Siargao. So it's happening. There's an active presence here in the Philippines. And I'm
I
excited to
love
talk about that.
Siargao.
Yeah, I want to know what the cuisine is in Siargao.
They have different
Siargao.
ones. Honestly, I go to Siargao not to surf, I go there to eat. Because
eat,
the food
yes.
there is amazing. Like the food scene is different. They have like Mexican food, Filipino food, like everything. Italian, they have everything.
Yeah,
so
it's
Siargao
giving me a
is
lot of Bali
one-stop
vibes. I
shop.
love
Yeah,
Siargao. I
yeah.
just wish the tickets were cheaper.
I know,
So we
the
can
tickets
go
to
often.
Siargao is a
Don't
little
we all
bit
wish
on
that?
the high price.
Yes.
But hopefully they'll
Also,
bring it
there's
down.
big news in sports,
Yeah.
Mo.
Yeah, Las Filipinas versus Iran. I think that's tonight. So I can't wait. I hope our Bob team, yeah, I'm calling volleyball Bob. I hope our Bob team does well. We're rooting for you guys.
Yes, and there's a lot of going on in the current news, Mai.
We
So
have
excited.
reporters on the ground for those stories coming up. But first, the headlines.
This is my daily dish. This is my daily dish. This is my daily dish. My daily dish. My daily dish.
In today's headlines, cited for contempt, controversial contractor Curly Discaya accused of lying as the Senate resumes its investigation into the flood control scandal. We get an update from the Senate live. A new era begins in the lower house as Isabela Representative Faustino Boji D replaces Martin Romualdez as Speaker. In sports, win big or go home. Las Filipinas prepares for a tough assignment against Asian powerhouse Iran in the FIVB Men's World Championship. And what is life like as an expat in Siargao? We find out from our guest, Ricardo Miranda de Souza, the co-founder of Siargao-based restaurant Roots. The Senate's flood control hearings turned tense today. Curly Discaya was cited in contempt over conflicting statements on his wife's absence, while more contractors came forward with fresh revelations. Let's get the details live from Hannah T. Hannah, what can you tell us?
Mai, the king of flood control projects, will be detained. Curly Discaya was cited in contempt for lying after giving inconsistent answers before the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee regarding his wife Sarah's health condition, who skipped today's hearing. When asked where Sarah is, Curly said she's suffering from a heart condition and has sent the committee an excuse letter, but he himself hasn't read it. The committee read that Sarah has a prior scheduled meeting with their company employees about the issues they're facing. Some of them will be coming from various places, thus she can no longer cancel. This led to Curly apologizing before the committee members, admitting Sarah has several health conditions, including diabetes and hypertension. This made senators become more confused, hereby raising a motion to cite him in contempt.
So let's rule first on the motion, pending motion, before anybody else talks. No. So there's no objection. So Mr. Discaya, you are cited in contempt of this committee.
The Discaya couple was tagged as king and queen of flood control projects by the PCIJ after earlier admitting they owned up to 9 construction firms which cornered billions worth of projects since 2018. A series of admissions followed from other contractors after this. Sally Santos, owner of SYMS or Sims Construction, sought physical protection from the Senate before answering questions as she feared for her life. Senate Blue Ribbon Committee Chair Panfilo Lacson then granted this. Santos admitted it was ex-DPWH officials Bryce Hernandez and JP Mendoza who forcibly borrowed her company's license to facilitate ghost projects in Bulacan. The committee then turned their attention to Hernandez, who is currently under Senate custody after being cited in contempt in the last hearing. Hernandez sought legislative immunity in the condition that he won't be lying before the committee regarding the modus on the anomalous flood control projects. Hernandez admitted to being part of the modus along with his boss Alcantara, but Alcantara denied involvement in ghost flood control projects, leading to senators citing him in contempt. It can be recalled that these DPWH Bulacan officials are tagged as BGC Boys or Bulacan Group of Contractors after using fake licenses to enter hotel casinos. Alcantara will join his subordinate Hernandez under Senate detention. Mai?
All right, Hannah, I understand that also there's talk now about how to get the money back. And DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon is there today, and he was asked about this. Can you tell us more about that discussion?
Actually, DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon said na they're still undergoing investigation as to how much exactly yung funds na di umano'y ninakaw ng ilang contractors at sabihin na natin, pati proponent. And tinanong din siya tungkol dun sa kung trillions or billions ba, yun ba yung amount that we're talking about. And Dizon said they may have to trace the last 10 years na transactions ng DPWH at sinabi niya na posibleng ang maging trillions yung worth nitong mga di umano'y pera na ninakaw sa ating taxes. And of course, nirelate ito ni Senator Bam Aquino doon sa looming protest on September 21, which is the Trillion Peso March, in line with the issues on the flood control scandal. At sinabi ni Senator Bam na malaki yun kumpara sa 3 million or 3 billion worth of funds na pwede sanang ma-provide sa feeding program ng ilang starving Filipino children sa feeding program na ikinakasa nito ni Aquino. So, safe to say, this is a very big amount of Filipino or flood control funds that we're talking about at sana maigagamit ito doon sa mas may saysay na mga programa gaya nga nung feeding program which Aquino mentioned. Mai?
Alam mo, tama ka dyan, Hannah. And it's also about carefully studying what cases should be filed so that we will be able to get back the hundreds of billions of pesos that was lost to these ghost flood control projects. Thank you for the update, Hannah T, joining us live from the Senate. A personal choice of the president. That's how Representative Laila de Lima sees the newly installed House Speaker Boji D.
Right now, ang tingin ko dyan, si PBBM na ang take charge.
Siya na ang bumabaston.
Siya na ang bumabaston. And that's why he had to pick yung fellow Ilocano from the north. And then politically, talaga naman the Ds have been always affiliated with the Marcoses. So, choice talaga siya. Ako even if they deny it, I think that's the fact na siya ang choice talaga, personal choice of BBM.
On BNC's at the forefront, De Lima said the resignation of Martin Romualdez was inevitable given recent revelations. Yesterday saw Congressman D, the 6th District Representative of Isabela, assuming the speakership, a move that didn't come as a complete surprise to lawmakers. Caloocan City Representative Edgar Erice told BNC that D would take the post prior to being sworn in. As the new speaker, D has promised budget reforms. The new House Speaker gaining the support of some independent lawmakers who've now joined the majority. On BNC's agenda, Bacolod Representative Albi Benitez expressed his hopes with a leadership change now in place.
Si Kong Duke Frasco at Kong Toby Chanco, nag-abstain po kami nung election ng dating Speaker Martin Romualdez. Ngayon po, bumoto na kami, no? So we are now part of the majority. Congressman Boji D was not part of that 2025 budget or part of the previous administration. Bago po siya. Tapos nakikita po natin na hindi naman siya sangkot sa mga issues na lumalabas ngayon. At ito po, will be given a good chance to prove ourselves na hindi naman lahat talaga ay sangkot sa mga ganito. At marami rin po magagandang proyekto at marami po matitinong mga congressman.
Benitez also admitted that talks of ousting Martin Romualdez began when President Bongbong Marcos questioned the 2025 budget.
Na-discover nga ng ating Pangulo na marami mga goals and substandard project at alam niyo naman, para naging suspect ang Congress sa mga legislators sa mga issues nito, no? So I think it came to this na dapat siguro magbitiw siya sa kanyang position to give way for a credible and transparent leadership.
Aside from the speakership, Navotas Representative Toby Chanco says change is also needed in other key posts in the lower house.
So kung papakita namin yung suporta kay Speaker Boji, I think that we have to give him the prerogative doon sa pagpili ng deputy speakers. It's not really more important than the change is the prerogative we give him para naman magawa niya yung mga kailangan niyang gawin.
On BNC's On Point, Chanco said replacing Martin Romualdez was inevitable. He stressed that the House's integrity must be protected amid the flood control scandal.
Kasi ang problema is may missing link na hindi makasagot doon sa mga akusasyon, and that is Saldico, di ba? Hindi mapaliwanag ni Saldico yung mga dapat niyang ipaliwanag. At tapos, since siya yung Committee on Appropriations Chairman ni Speaker Romualdez noon, parang nagkaroon ng command responsibility si Speaker Romualdez noon. Kaya ganun yung nangyari. Kaya kinangailangan ng pagbabago para makita ng tao na seryoso kami na imbestigahan yung talagang punot dulo niyan.
Pressure mounts as the long-awaited probe into the missing Sabungeros case takes center stage at the Justice Department. Joash Malimban is on the ground to tell us more. Hi, Joash, what's happening there?
My Justice holds that the Department of Justice were filled today as the preliminary investigation into the missing Sabungeros case officially commenced. Among the prominent figures involved are the Patidongan brothers, as well as the legal teams of Bilyonaryo gambling tycoon Charlie Atong Ang and celebrity Gretchen Barreto, though both Ang and Barreto were not physically present. Also in attendance were the families of the missing Sabungeros, including Jaja Pilata, who revealed earlier that she recently received a bribery attempt from a relative of one of the missing individuals. Pilarta claimed she was offered 1.5 billion pesos in exchange for her silence. The investigation will resume on September 29 and October 13, when respondents are expected to file their counter affidavits. Mai.
Josh, who among the alleged Alpha members are present in today's setting?
Well, we did see retired Police Lieutenant Colonel Jonel Estomo arrive earlier this morning, but he refused to give a statement. Aside from Estomo, we did not see any of the initially alleged Alpha members here today. Mai.
Thank you, Joash Malimban, reporting to us from the DOJ. Cavite 4th District Representative Kiko Barzaga is fighting back against questions regarding his mental health. The Gen Z lawmaker is facing an ethics complaint from his former party, the National Unity Party. Barzaga is accused of unethical conduct because of his Facebook posts that critics say could incite sedition. He also posted lewd photos that could damage the House's reputation. The first-term lawmaker says he'll only release his medical records if there's a formal court order. He also insists any posts that he made prior to joining Congress shouldn't be held against him. Meanwhile, Senator Erwin Tulfo is pushing to require psychological clearances and medical certificates for future candidates. A demolition of several PNR stations in southern Mega Manila is now underway, a major step forward in the ongoing construction of the South Commuter Railway project. Andrea Salve joins us now from Laguna. Andrea, go ahead.
Massive drilling cranes are currently operating to deconstruct the PNR station in Cabuyao City, Laguna. Acting Transportation Secretary Giovanni Lopez confirms that demolition work is being conducted simultaneously at 10 PNR stations, stretching from Manila to Laguna as part of the South Commuter Railway's continued expansion. During his inspection in the cities of Cabuyao and Santa Rosa, Lopez stressed the need to repair broken viaducts, something that can only be done through the demolition of existing stations. The South Commuter Line has a total of 19 stations, with demolition now underway at 10 of them. For the remaining stations, assessments are still being conducted to determine if demolition is necessary. The acting secretary also admitted that the North Commuter Railway will be completed ahead of the South as right-of-way issues continue to delay progress in the southern segment. However, he assures the public that these challenges are close to being resolved. According to Lopez, 95% of right-of-way concerns will be settled by the end of this year, with full completion expected by the second quarter of 2026. Resettlement of informal settler families remains a major challenge, but one that is being addressed. Cabuyao City Mayor Dennis Hain reports that approximately 200 families are affected by the project and resettlement conditions are currently being finalized. The DOTR continues to work closely with the local government units, which according to Lopez can provide strong assurance to affected communities. Pragmatically, Secretary Lopez sees the full completion of the South Commuter Railway project by the year 2031. Back to you, Mai.
Thank you, Andrea Salve, reporting to us from Laguna. Companies are urged to turn pledges for renewable energy into reality as government stakeholders and major energy players come together for the Net Zero Conference. Paulo Barcelon is on the scene in BGC for the details. Hi, Paulo.
Philippine businesses are aiming to step up its climate game with new efforts to turn net zero targets into action. During the Net Zero Conference on Thursday, government and businesses are doubling down on the pledge to cut greenhouse gas emissions by 75% by 2030. Some of the key measures tackled in this ongoing conference is the Low Carbon Economy Investment Act. The measure proposes a cap-and-trade system limiting emissions, issuing tradable allowances, and channeling penalties into a climate reinvestment fund. The House version of the bill has already already passed in third reading at the 19th Congress, and a Senate counterpart is currently pending at the committee level. Climate change due to greenhouse gas emissions have an adverse effect not just in businesses, but in all Filipinos, as the Philippines loses about 100 billion pesos each year due to climate disasters. Experts say stronger investments in renewable energy, green infrastructure, and nature-based projects are crucial, not just for the environment, but for job creation and economic growth. We also got word earlier, Mai, from Secretary Sharon Garin that a public consultation on the new guidelines on selection of power producers may be up in the coming months, and that they are also working on a more permanent solution to address Boracay's power woes, particularly repairing of the subterranean cable which supplies power to the world-famous island. Mai.
Good to hear from you, Paolo. Thanks for that report. U.S. President Donald Trump receives a regal welcome in Britain as King Charles hosted him for a historic second state visit. There was a lavish banquet at Windsor Castle where the king spoke of the enduring bond and unshakable trust between the two nations. Prime Minister Keir Starmer hopes the visit will secure billions in U.S. investments, ease tariffs, and strengthen cooperation on Ukraine and Israel. Trump's visit drew thousands of protesters outside the castle walls, underscoring his unpopularity in Britain and the political risks for Starmer. Meta is doubling down on smart glasses, this time with a built-in display. At its Connect conference in California, the company launched the Ray-Ban display glasses, priced at $799 and set to hit stores September 30th. The device shows notifications through a tiny screen inside the lens. CEO Mark Zuckerberg called the glasses the ideal form factor for artificial intelligence.
Big game today for Alas Pilipinas in the FIVB Men's World Championship. The men's national volleyball team will face Asian powerhouse Iran later at the Mall of Asia Arena in Pasay City. Game time is at 5:30 p.m. The Philippines is coming off a historic upset of reigning African champions Egypt earlier this week. Iran, on the other hand, is a three-time champion at the Asian Games and is the highest-ranked Asian team still in contention. Whoever wins will enter the knockout stages of the tournament. Meanwhile, in the UAAP, UST's fourth ski Padrigo will have to wait some more before suiting up for season 88. Padrigo is suspended for committing two unsportsmanlike fouls in UST's game against UP last November. He is set to serve the suspension on Sunday when the Growling Tigers face the Fighting Maroons. Now, despite the suspension, the league says Padrigo remains eligible for individual honors this season, saying the infraction was carried over from season 87.
On entertainment, Jimmy Kimmel is indefinitely going off air from late night TV. The Disney-owned ABC confirms it will stop airing Jimmy Kimmel Live after his remarks about the assassination of conservative activist Charles Kirk. Kimmel's comments were criticized by the Federal Communications Commission. During his monologue Monday night, Kimmel suggested that suspected gunman Tyler Robinson could have been a pro-Trump Republican. Nexstar Media Group also announced it will pull the show from its 32 ABC affiliates, calling Kimmel's comments offensive and insensitive. What do you ladies think about that?
I'm actually, I don't know how I feel.
I'm so upset by that.
I am
I'm
upset.
a fan of Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes.
First it was Stephen
Colbert,
right?
and now
Jimmy
Kimmel.
Kimmel. I don't like that. I think big media is bowing to pressure from the Trump administration, I guess.
I agree. That's why
Yeah,
I'm
I mean, there's two camps of thought here, the pro and the non, right? So I'm sure we're gonna be hearing a lot of like backlash from the American viewers regarding this because it is, I would say, his right to say something.
Right.
But, Was it that offensive?
I didn't think it was
And it's late night. I'm pretty sure they were given a little bit of liberty as to what they can say in late night shows.
I mean, Jimmy's always been vocal about his non-preference for the current U.S. president, but he was never slapped on the wrist for that.
This is the first time. Normally
this
it's
is the
Stephen
first
Colbert. So who's basically still doing late night show? Just Jimmy Fallon
Jimmy
now,
Fallon.
right? It's just him now. Because Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, they're both gone.
Yep, I guess they just need to watch the Daily Dish because once we air here live in the Philippines, it's late night there. Why
late
not,
night
right?
In the US. But on lighter news, Ferdi, this
Yes.
is more of my alley.
She likes this. Meanwhile, Camp Rock 3 is now in production. The Jonas Brothers are reprising their roles in the third movie of the hit Disney Channel series. Kevin, Joe, and Nick will also join Demi Lovato as executive producers. The story follows the boy band's Connect 3 returning to Camp Rock. Their goal? To find a new opening act for their big reunion. Joe also gave fans a behind-the-scenes look during production. The new movie will air on Disney Channel and stream on Disney+. Disney says bringing back the Jonas Brothers and Demi is a full-circle moment meant to introduce the franchise to a new generation of fans. And of course, Monique is super excited about this.
Tell us about this reunion because I'm not familiar with Camp Rock.
Because I grew up watching them, the Jonas Brothers, Demi Lovato, and actually the Joe Bros. During their reunion concert, they brought Demi out and sang all the songs, and I was literally sobbing because I said, "Oh my God, this is my middle school," and I'm so excited that Camp Rock 3 is coming.
I do like Camp Rock, okay? I am with you in that age bracket.
I love the Jonas. Yeah.
Wow, Ferdi.
Wow. Are you throwing shade at me right now, Mai?
No.
Is that a breaking news, Ma, for you?
I totally believe that.
Mai, do you like the Jonas Brothers?
I'm more of a One Direction fan.
You're a directioner.
I'm a directioner.
But we should get you on the Jonas Brothers because they're coming back up. But we love Joe Jonas. He's my favorite.
So, folks,
Joe
I'm sure we're
Bros.
going to be hearing the Jonas Brothers songs every day next week.
I was playing them kanina coming here, so...
Right.
Okay.
But back
so
to you,
let's go
Mai.
watch that movie when it
Yeah.
comes out. Well, we have more stories and conversations later on the show. We will put the spotlight on one of Siargao's major players in its vibrant culinary scene. Ricardo Miranda de Souza, the co-founder of Roots, will be joining us live after this short break. The Daily Dish will be back.
This is my daily dish. My daily dish. Daily dish. My daily dish.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Daily Dish. Aside from its reputation as a premier surfing destination, Siargao is also known for its vibrant culinary cuisine. Or scene, rather.
Our guest today is one of the co-founders of a restaurant that honors its diverse heritage with Filipino ingredients.
And he is also helping integrate a culinary movement that highlights local cuisine and traditional cooking. Let's welcome Ricardo Miranda de Souza, co-founder of the Siargao-based restaurant Roots.
Whoa,
Welcome to the
yes.
dish.
Welcome, Ricardo.
But I'm sad you didn't bring any food.
I
This
know.
is a daily dish, and where's our dish?
You came from all the way from Siargao, and look.
It's so you guys can come to Siargao and try it.
Yeah, definitely we will do that.
Okay.
We actually met in the launch of Terra Madre.
Yes.
Yeah, so I invited him over to talk about also the slow food movement that's gaining traction in Siargao.
See, this is how resourceful Mai is.
I know, right?
I love it, Mai. Good job, right?
Yes.
So tell us about Siargao's culinary scene. What's going on? Because a lot of us talk about it. There's homegrown restaurants, and what we see there too would be the foreign residents down there building amazing restaurants, bringing their own culture to Siargao.
Right. So Siargao, like you said, is much more than surfing and then the nightlife. It's a melting pot of cultures, of cultures from different parts of the Philippines and cultures from different parts of the world.
Yes.
And that is definitely reflecting on the culinary scene. You have different restaurants of all kinds of standings and levels, all kinds of culinary backgrounds. And it's really a representation of what Siargao has become and is becoming.
I love Siargao. I want to live there sometimes. Not all the time, just sometimes. Because
You don't need it. You don't need the Siargao curse. You're taken.
I want to know what draws you and like other foreigners to Siargao. What in particular? Like why there? Of all the 7,000 plus islands we have here in the Philippines, why Siargao in particular?
Well, in my case, it was surfing. I enjoy surfing. I enjoy traveling for surf. And I was lucky that I had some friends living on the island the first time I visited. Fell in love with the island and then reconnected with who are now my partners, and somehow we decided to open a restaurant in Siargao. Why Siargao for a restaurant? It has an incredibly rich biodiversity. You're close to the source of ingredients, and that as somebody in the industry is a privilege.
So do you guys source everything in Siargao?
Not everything. 90% of our ingredients are sourced from the Philippines, but I would say that at least 50% of what we serve comes from Siargao, especially the seafood. And
Yes. Aside from the seafood, what kind of ingredients are interesting to use in Siargao? Because I mean, the three of us have been. I've never been to the market there, but I would be keen on going. However, you know, what's endemic in Siargao that you use in, especially your restaurant?
So you find a lot of ingredients, not necessarily in the market, but you find a lot of ingredients in nature. We actually enjoy, and it's part of our process.
You have to like forage.
Forage.
It's really incorporated in our process to forage. So we found some berries, some fruits, such as inyam, for instance, which is
Inyam,
similar to bugnay.
What's a bugnay?
It's
Is it a berry?
It's a very similar.
Bugnay, they can make wine out of bugnay. It's sour.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so this grows all over Siargao. It wasn't used locally, but in this foraging process that we've embarked on since we landed on the island, we discovered fruits as such. And we slowly incorporated them into the menu. So it's very interesting in that regard. Being an island that is so rich in biodiversity, finding these sort of ingredients that you don't necessarily see in the market or that many times are not part of even the local gastronomy.
But are you teaching the locals how to use these ingredients and elevating them to a different dining experience? Because obviously, if it's available there, they're like, oh, it's just there. We're not really paying attention to it.
I would say it's more of an exchange, not really teaching. Sometimes these ingredients were used in the past by the locals. Sometimes they give it different uses. So part of our process is understanding how those ingredients were part of the culture and part of the local daily life of the people there. And so it's an exchange, a learning process on both sides of the table. And we learn a lot from them. We like to think that they take some things from us as well. So yeah, there's definitely an exchange.
Is there something in particular you learned from the locals that really resonated with you and you want to bring back?
I think that this is not just for Siargao in particular, but from the Philippines in general. It's the culture of fermentation. That's something that we've really incorporated into the restaurant. We've learned it in particular in Siargao, but it's something that I think is very, very characteristic of gastronomy here in the Philippines in general.
Ricardo, what's the most surprising thing about building a life as an expat on the island, and what is the most challenging?
I think the most surprising, and it's one of the things that drew me initially to Siargao, is the community. How open the island is to people from outside. This is something very unique that you don't find in other places in the world. Something challenging, it's living in a remote place. There's, especially when you run a restaurant, logistics can be a bit of a nightmare.
Yes.
Typhoons definitely affect the arrival of ingredients, and so dealing with that, dealing with the uncertainty of timelines is definitely a challenge. But you adapt to it. Like somebody told me when we first opened the restaurant in Siargao, the island is the boss, and you learn that eventually. You cannot control times, you cannot control anything, you learn to adapt to that.
You know, tourism has clearly boosted Siargao's economy, but what do you think Siargao needs more of, and what does it have enough of?
That's a good question. It needs more sustainable development, I would say. And that comes in many forms. I'm not just talking about infrastructure, but building good, clean, and fair food systems. And that's something that we're working on with other restaurants on the island through together with Slow Food. So we definitely need more of that. Something we've had enough of was your second question, I think. I would say over-tourism. I mean,
there's
it's a double-edged sword. We need tourism.
I was going to ask you about that because, running an F&B business, especially in an island like this, it's seasonal.
Yeah.
And it's not cheap to live in an island like Siargao. You've got, you mentioned logistics, getting your goods there, even you physically flying back and forth from Siargao. That costs a lot of money. And currently, of course, we are all like at the mercy of nature. What do you do when it's low season and you're not on the island? How do you sustain business?
Well, we've been lucky over the last few years that the market sort of remains the same for 10 months of the year. So our low season is very short. It's basically from June, July, and then September again is a low month. Us particularly, it's a chance to train the staff. It's a chance to go out there more, research more. Some of us take vacation, actually.
I was about to say, you're going to go back to Portugal or Spain?
I was in Portugal and Spain for 3 weeks just last month. My partners just got back yesterday from Mexico. Two of my partners are half Mexican. So they went back to Mexico to visit family and travel around. So it's a chance to reconnect with the outside world of the restaurant.
Yeah. Sorry, Monique, are you going to ask a question? Because I have something very interesting to ask him because he's actually part Portuguese and part Spanish.
Correct.
And the Portuguese culture is very sea-based, right?
Yeah.
How do you compare the seafood culture and cuisine of Portugal to what you have in Siargao?
That's a great question.
I love this question.
Thank you so much.
That's really great.
That's the number one.
The seafood culture in Siargao, like in many islands in the Philippines, you eat raw fish, kinilaw.
Yes.
Crudo.
Yeah.
Crudo, kinilaw. We don't have that culture in Spain, in Portugal, sorry. In Portugal, it's mostly grilled fish or baked fish. So I would say that in both cultures, it's very much present in the everyday life of people. Siargao was a fishing island before it became a surfing destination. Very close to where my family is from in Portugal is also a fishing area. So you can definitely see the similarities there where lives revolve around.
In Porto, this is it?
This is close to Porto, Guimarães.
Guimarães, okay.
20 minutes from Porto. But we would always spend time in the outskirts of Porto in a place called Vila do Conde.
It's quite fancy what he's talking about.
I know, I'm like,
I love how he says that.
Yeah.
So-
I just want to hear him talk.
Say it again.
I don't know what he's saying, but I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, so the ocean is definitely a part of both cultures.
So would you say the food culture, the food scene in Siargao, lots of cafes, like we mentioned in our intro banter, lots of cafes, lots of new restaurants keep popping up. Would you say that's good for your business? Do you guys have a healthy relationship and helping each other? Or do you see them as like a healthy competition?
No, it's definitely good for business. The more of us, the easier it is to build the systems that I was talking about, the good, clean, and healthy food systems. So when you have more and more restaurants demanding sort of clean ingredients, organic ingredients, and all striving towards the same goal, we all benefit from it.
Okay.
So let's talk about slow food now. Do you see the slow food philosophy expanding beyond cafes and restaurants now, and like penetrating more of the local community?
Definitely. Resorts are also joining the movement. We're in conversations with a few of them to be part of our community in Siargao, and farmers. This is actually the key element of this entire chain.
Yes.
Without them, there wouldn't be clean
Also,
ingredients.
explain to our viewers what is clean food, what is food that is sustainable, and what is fair food for all.
So clean means that it's not ultra processed, that it's organic, and fair means that the conditions in which the farmers sell their products are fair to them. They establish the prices. We try not to use intermediaries between.
So fair market.
Fair market.
Which is great. The farmers really
correct.
need that.
They received fair compensation for their work.
Correct. I have one more question regarding the slow food movement because you've got a deluge of tourists. So this is great for the economy of Siargao. However, budgets are different when people fly down there. And with all these cafes and F&B outlets popping up, of course, the budget conscious will not necessarily go to the slow food movement because they have, a theory that it may be more expensive than what they can afford for that particular meal. Is that? Do you think that's slowing the slow food movement?
And yeah, because to add to Ferdi's thing, I've heard some people say that like the prices of Siargao food now, it's basically like American prices.
So initially, there's definitely an entry barrier there to organic produce. But like Bacolod showed the world, it's possible to grow a movement where all businesses at all levels can benefit from it, and then eventually, if enough players are in the game, it's supply and demand.
So that's funny.
The more businesses demand organic produce,
and because we were talking about slow food. Monique and I just ordered canned seafood for
the
show.
So,
before the ladies ask their questions, my phone is actually exploding right now.
Yeah. Your phone's always exploding.
But they're asking me about the Siargao curse. They're asking me if you're single or not. They're like, what a cutie on your show. I've got evidence.
Of fans, Ricardo.
But you can answer that later. We're not going to answer it now.
Right. But wait, I'd like to ask you, how do you see Siargao in 5 to 10 years, like balancing, growth, tourism, sustainability? Because, like you said earlier, it is overcrowded. The problem is also over tourism.
Well, I think we have a very strong community that shares the same goal of growing sustainably. If that community stays strong, if all the stakeholders involved work together towards this goal, and it seems that with the new administration, that's definitely the goal. I think we can achieve the goal of growing sustainably. Everybody's welcome in Siargao, but it's important that we all stay aligned and grow with this goal in mind.
Now, go ahead.
We're very excited about sustainability, and you being now part Filipino can help preserve.
Already.
He has a Pinoy accent. Help preserve, what Siargao is, and to protect it for further generations.
But before we let him go, for the fans watching you, Ricardo, where can they find you, and where can they visit you in Siargao for your food?
Yes,
not for you, for your food.
For the food,
You can find us along Tourism Road. That's the main road in Siargao. There's no numbers, no street numbers in Siargao, so there's a long tourism road at the bottom floor of a resort called Kaimana.
Yes.
So you can find roots and brunch. Brunch is our morning concept where we serve under the same philosophy, a more relaxed.
His
food
friend
concept.
from Kaimana was supposed to be here with us.
Yesterday, Ferdi, he wasn't lying.
I'm not lying. People are texting me live right now.
I don't want to say anything because that's kind of
Somebody's saying.
So what are they saying, Ferdi?
Set me up. Is he single?
And people saying, you know what sharap means?
Sharap.
Sarap.
Sarap, I know.
But in a different way, sharap.
So what's the answer?
I am married.
Very much married.
Happily married for 6 years. My wife is Filipina. She's
Any
from Manila.
kids?
One daughter, almost 3 years old.
He's got good taste. He got married to a Filipina.
She's from Manila, though.
That's why they moved here to the Philippines.
Thank you so much, Ricardo, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Ricardo. Ricardo Miranda de Souza, co-founder of Siargao-based restaurant Brew.
And taken and married.
Taken and married. Sorry, folks. Those of you guys are DMing me right now. Go.
So coming up next, a gastronomy event from Italy makes its way to the Philippines. Let's find out about the launch of Terra Madre after the break. The Daily Dish will be right back.
This is my daily dish.
And Welcome back to the Daily Dish. Great news as the Philippines will be hosting the first ever Terra Madre Asia and Pacific. It's the largest sustainable gastronomy event. And we took a trip down the food lane.
Not we, you.
I did.
I don't know why she said
Because they're being shown in the camera.
Yeah.
So this is ahead of its launch this November. Let's watch this.
The future of food lies in our farmers, fisherfolk, and artisans. The growing slow food movement is working to protect them and help make sure the food that we grow is good for our biodiversity and the environment, often through initiatives like Terra Madre.
We're here at North Forbes Pavilion for the launch of Terra Madre Asia and Pacific 2025. This is the world's largest sustainable gastronomy event in Asia and Pacific, and this brings together stakeholders with one vision: good, clean, and fair food for all.
Modeled after the long-running Terra Madre Salone del Gusto in Italy, this edition will be held in Bacolod City in November. Welcoming us, cocktails and appetizers featuring ingredients from the Ark of Taste, a catalog of foods at risk of vanishing from our kitchens because of climate change, rapid urbanization, and the dominance of processed food.
Hi, this is Tina Legarda, and what are you serving today?
So we are serving pili braised pork belly that we're stuffing inside a pandesal with inihaw na talong crema and pineapple mostarda. So it's a mouthful.
You're using pili nuts? Yes, why pili?
Well, I'm a big fan. I feel like it's with the texture and all, I feel like it really deserves like a spot in the world, and the world really needs to know more about this ingredient. It's actually a dish I made for Madrid Fusion a few years ago that I just revived today because it's really one of my favorite ingredients. Yeah.
Very exciting. I want to try it. Come on. I'll start here. Just like this. It's gonna be a mouthful.
Yes.
It's gonna be a mouthful.
Close up. Wow, you did that really well.
Now it's time for Chefs Kevin Navoa and Ferdi Dolatre of Hapag. What are you serving today, Chef?
So today you have a savory version of a paella. So it's inside this, we're using kadios, which is an Ark of Taste ingredient. And in Hapag we focus on fermentation. So we turned that kadios into a miso and stuffed it inside the paella. And on top of it, you also have some tofu mayonnaise with prawns.
All right, you mentioned kadios, which is one of the ingredients that's endangered. I understand. Tell us what exactly is kadios?
Kadios is actually a bean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, from Iloilo,
Negros, yeah.
from Negros actually. So this is why we actually brought it, because everything is going to be done in Negros or Bacolod. Yeah, so that's what we're using for this one.
Now we're here with Angelo Comsty, the food dude himself. So tell us, I've been talking to the other guests and they've been raving about your food today. Tell us what it is. I understand you're using sustainable Negros blue crab.
So I'm highlighting sustainable Negros blue crab. I turned it into an egg salad on top of black broas, which is made with burnt coconut, and then I topped it with ikura and then lemon zest.
Interesting. How do you make the black broas?
So basically, it's the basic broas recipe, but what made it black is the addition of burnt coconut powder.
And the exciting flavors popping in your mouth. How does this work exactly?
So the broas is sweet, the egg salad is a bit salty along with the ikura, and then the lemon zest to cut through all the richness. So it's perfectly balanced.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
Now we have to try it. We have to try it. Super sarap. Try it.
On my in kasi I think it's nice that we're featuring parang proudly Filipino heritage spirits actually, like tapoy, tuba, basi, or lambanogs even, which aren't really familiar worldwide. So I think it's nice that we're actually putting it in a global stage for a lot of people.
At the heart of the global movement, Paolo De Groce, who shares why it's important to protect what remains of our culinary heritage.
We need to give value. We need to give value to products that are different, that are diverse, that you can find in any corner of the planet, that they have a strong connection with the history, with the culture, and with the local economy. So it's very important to protect this food.
This milestone event marks the designation of Bacolod City as the slow food hub of Asia and center for sustainable gastronomy, and Negros Occidental as the organic capital of the Philippines.
What do you hope that Terra Madre brings to Bacolod City, given that it's going to be at the center of the slow food movement here in the Asia Pacific?
Yes, so Bacolod is very known for chicken inasal, kansi. Have you tried?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we also have a lot of desserts because our province produces 60% of the national output of sugar. But there's more to it than that. I think there's a growing community in Bacolod that's want to showcase more than just the usual. It's also what is culturally and historically, preserved in terms of like what kind of delicacies and the kind of process that these farmers go through. So the whole idea of slow food is to advocate for clean, good, and fair food.
Tourism Secretary Cristina Frasco highlighted the partnership between food sustainability and tourism. She's been championing the Philippines as a global gastronomy destination.
When visitors taste our cuisine, domestic or international, they discover not only our flavors but our history, not only our culture but our character, and of course, not only sustenance but the soul of our people. And in each and every one of these encounters, livelihoods are uplifted, dignity is affirmed, and opportunity is created.
You'll be seeing content creator Erwan Yusaf in Bacolod. He's gained quite a following for his documentary series, which focuses on discovering and preserving traditional food practices.
You have long promoted the farm-to-table approach using local ingredients. I've seen you engage in the slow food movement many months now and really go to these communities. How important is it for you that we have a space where grassroots wisdom can actually help shape policy?
I think it's really important. I think I always say that because we have a lack of historical context of the Filipino and the Philippines, most of the history written about the Philippines is written by foreigners, by colonizers, by all these things. I feel like food is a great way for us to reconnect with our roots and understand our history. And each time we've been to communities, different provinces around the Philippines, we really see that pride, but we really see how a dish or a recipe can represent a community with the ingredients that are grown around them. Filipino food is very hyper-local, is very ingredient-based, and things are changing as things are modernizing. And I really hope that that's something that we don't lose, and we don't lose that connection we have with our food, with our ingredients, and where we live.
I love what you do in your vlog, where you really educate the public, and not only Filipinos, but foreigners as well, and to show our love for our food, and be proud of our heritage.
I always tell people we're not experts, we're communicators. So our job is to create beautiful documentaries and beautiful videos that people can understand the context of Filipino food and all the ingredients that we have.
An important lesson is shared by Ramon Chinchin Uy, slow food counselor for Southeast Asia.
When communities, government, and the private sector come together, real change happens. Slow Food Negros has become a template for collaboration, showing how we can create tangible results for farmers, for fisher folks, artisans, and food communities.
Terra Madre is all about people, communities, and the food that connects us. What a night! Such a joy witnessing our chefs bring to life heritage ingredients in truly delicious ways. So, from November 19 to 23, go and have a taste of Bacolod. This is Mai Rodriguez for the Daily Dish on the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
So did you see Paolo? He did such a good job hosting that event.
This is the first time I've ever seen Mai not make eye contact with the person she's talking to. Do we have to call Ann Curtis?
Oh my God,
Ann Curtis is pissed at Mai Rodriguez.
Ann Curtis is upset with you right
Listen,
now.
while we were watching it
We were so
here,
happy that we got Erwin here.
You're very happy.
Yeah, Mai was so kilig, guys. I've never seen her. She's like, oh my, Erwin!
Yeah.
And then she said, Ferdi, get Erwin on our show.
Yes, Ferdi.
Erwan, we're inviting you on the show. But ladies, we've got one day to go till Friday.
Oh my goodness.
And we have a fabulous guest to help us wrap up the week. The one and only Tessa Prieto will join us live in the studio tomorrow, September 19th. If you've got questions for Tessa, anything at all, send them on our social media page on Facebook or on Instagram.
And Tessa mentioned to Ferdi that she has some news that
She got juice.
She's got some juicy juice that she's gonna break here on
Dropping
Daily
some
Dish.
bombs tomorrow.
A
bombshell.
I'm suspecting, but you know, with Tessa, it's always fun and you never know.
And I love her outfit, so I can't wait to see what she's gonna wear tomorrow.
Oh, that's pressure.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we have a
guys,
countdown.
Crazy. We have 98 days left till Christmas.
It's giving me anxiety.
I hope you guys have shots already.
Start budgeting, right, Ferdi?
Yes, Lord.
Well, that's it for us today, Thursday, September 18. Join us again tomorrow for more Real Talk.
A lot of spilled tea.
With zero filter. I'm Monique Tuzon. Anytime is a good time because there's always more fun with us.
I'm Ferdi Salvador, always on top with the news and stories that matter most. And happy birthday to my daughter, Karine.
Happy birthday, Karine. I'm Mai Rodriguez. That's a Daily Dish served. Thank you for watching.